I wouldn't think about it too much. Let's get through this slide first. That's a big project. Yeah. How do things continue from one moment to the next? How is it that we remember who we are every day? How is it we have this sense of remembering when we're 6 years old, even vaguely? What is it that continues from 6 years old or 5 years old to this age? What is it? Does it continue, or are we just fantasizing? No, I think there's some continuation, but what is it? Body's changed. There's some sense of continuation, and it's like images of more like everything's got residues, and residues are not inert; they're more like glowing embers that spark, flash. So anytime the wind picks up, those embers can flash. So that could be, I remember, oh my God, that was something blue on an ember, and regret comes up. So, so that generates who we are at this particular moment. Does that make sense? Yeah. So these residues act like these glowing embers, which are not entirely dead, but not necessarily alive, but they've got potency. And so then when the sort of wind blows on them, then they spark. So these this process then can be held to be continuing through this life. And these residues, where are they held? Where are these residues live? We could say, loosely speaking, they live in the citta, in the heart mind. And what is the wind? The wind is the sense of identity and what's called becoming, which is something that's continually, non-verbally reiterating who I am. It's a particular energy called bhava. It says, I'm this, I will be that, I was this, it's going that. So it's this wind that keeps blowing on the past and blowing up sparks to generate who I am now. So the sense is that this doesn't stop when the body finishes. The heart goes on, or that tide, that current goes on. And so unresolved embers can continue to generate more sparks in the future. It's somewhat poetic, but if you want to look at the dry stuff, you can go into the Abhidharma, and you've got Bhavanga Citta, Patisandhi Vijnana, and that will certainly, they try to explain it their way, using these terms, but actually what I'm referring to, we try to, I see, it's if you can track what's going on in this life, that keeps coming up for you, and it comes up as different memories, impressions that are certainly distinct, and yet they're all somehow lining up to be, this is what I am. That's the process of rebirth. And the sense is, which we don't know, is that when this body falls away, that doesn't stop. So the useful bit about it is you don't get away with anything. And clear up your mess before you leave the room. So we either clear things or we kick the can down the road. So if you've still got grudges, you better clear it, because otherwise it's going to still hang around there. If you've got regrets, don't like it, we better clear it, because otherwise it's just going to keep smouldering. Clear your stuff. Otherwise it just, that's what it's about really, clearing stuff.